Okay, so hello guys. This is kind of my first attempt at doing a book haul slash not really a book review. It's like a book haul actually. I love watching those kinds of videos on YouTube, and so I decided, you know what? I have a lot of books and I go to the bookstore more often than I should. And I actually recently went to a book sale and I decided, you know what, it'd be really fun to just kind of just make a video about the books that I recently bought. So who knows, I may actually do this more often than this one time. So I'm just kind of recording this for fun to see if I really like it. Don't know if I'm going to upload it, but if I do, yeah, this is for you. Okay, so I usually go to half price books a lot. Sometimes I'll just walk in there just to do it. I usually like selling books there a lot. That's one of my favorite things to do. It doesn't give you that much cash, but you can get some money, It gets you some pocket change, and then you end up spending it on whatever book you find in there, so yeah. So you pretty much just go in, sell your books, and then whatever bit of petty cash that they give you, you just like add it to the total of whatever one book you end up finding and buying. So yeah. But anyway, so I recently I actually have signed up for the half price books mailing list. And when you do that, every now and then, like every couple of months or so, they send you a list of coupons in the mail. And it's for like a whole week. It's like a week's worth of coupons. And it's like, so each day has a certain percentage that you can take off your total. So it's like, I think it's like Monday and Tuesday are like 20% off. And then like Wednesday and Thursday are 30%, and then the coupons for Friday and Saturday are 40%, and then Sunday is like the big day, and that's 50% off. And that's usually, whenever I get those coupons, I usually just save the coupons for Friday through Sunday, because obviously that gives you the most off. And since it's half price books, and then you use the 50% off coupon, you're basically getting the book for a fourth of the price of what it originally was. So yeah, that's what I love most about half price. And so recently, this past Sunday, in fact, was the day that I used my 50% off coupon. Yeah. So I actually had a list of certain books that I wanted to get. And since I live in Texas, we have a lot, like probably the most locations of half price books. I don't have that proven, but I mean, everything's bigger in Texas, so we pretty much do have, like, the most locations, especially in one, like, area. Like, the whole Dallas-Fort Worth area, that's where the most half-price bookstores are that I've noticed. So, I actually had a certain list of books that I wanted to get, and so I actually went online and looked them up, and I could find out which stores had which books that I needed. And they were all in a pretty close proximity. Sorry, I thought I saw something out my window. Pretty close proximity, to each other. And so I decided, you know what? Okay, that's it. This Sunday, that's my plan. I'm going to go to all these bookstores. Boom, I got this. And, I had my list of books with me. And I was kind of planning on going it alone, could cover the most ground by myself. But then I was planning on just, like, going to church, and then immediately afterwards I was like, okay, let's do this. Like, let's kind of road trip this. And then, it's kind of cool because then my best friend ended up kind of coming along with me. She went to church with me, and then I was like, hey, you wanna come do this half-price books road trip thing with me? And she was like, yeah, let's do it. And then afterwards, one of my other friends, he was wanting to know what I was doing, and I was like, hey, kind of already have this plan going. Do you want to join us? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And so it ended up turning into a nice, cute little road trip for me and my two best friends. And yeah, it was really cool. I loved it. So I'm going to share with you the first book that I have. And I actually did not get this on the Sunday. I had gone the previous day to my local half price. And I sold a lot of books. I wanted to see how much cash I could get for them. And while I was waiting around for them to call my name, I ended up finding this book. I'll show it to you in just a second. You know what? I'll just show it to you now. So this is I'm going to show it to the camera. There we go. This is The Secret Garden. I actually, on my bookshelf, I had a copy of The Secret Garden, but it was actually a copy that my mom already owned. And some of the books that, when I was starting out my bookshelf, I was putting it together, I actually just kind of grabbed this copy of The Secret Garden that my mom already had. And here recently I've decided, you know what, I'm just going to go through all the books that I've put on my shelf that I know belong to my mom originally, that, I'm not going to take with me whenever I move out of the house, because I don't want to, I want my mom to have her own copies as well. I want her to have those back and me have my own. So I found this beautiful copy of The Secret Garden and I decided, you know what, this will be my copy. And it's actually a Barnes & Noble copy. And so it's one of the, I think it's one of the leather-bound Barnes & Noble classics. So look at that. It's this beautiful two-tone purple. It's like dark violet, lavender, and it's got these beautiful little silver things, the silver details on that, on the spine, and then on the back. It's beautiful. It has this beautiful quote, and it says, "Where you tend a rose, my lad, a thistle cannot grow." And that's just a beautiful, beautiful quote from the book, and there's lots of other beautiful quotes too, but it's just so gorgeous. And also, I didn't know this, but I actually found this out as I was flipping through it. Hold on. It actually has beautiful like illustrations from the original Secret Garden, and they're called plates. So look at this illustration. This is so gorgeous. And they have, I think, 8 or 9 of those. So yeah, it's just a beautiful copy and has a beautiful little ribbon. And so I found this, I think it was originally like $8 or $7. And so I just used my 40% off coupon for that day since it was a Saturday. And I just used it and I was like, you know what? I need my own copy of The Secret Garden. So yeah. So the next day, trying to think. So yeah, the next day, we went back to my local half price because I found another book there that I really liked. But it was kind of expensive, and so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put it back on the shelf, pray that nobody picks it up, and then I'll just use my half off coupon the next day. And thankfully, nobody got it. So I'm a big fan of all sorts of books. All genres, and I'm also a big nerd on like all different movies. I'm a big like Lord of the Rings nerd, Star Wars nerd, and so speaking of Star Wars, it was actually mostly Star Wars books in particular that I was searching for this day, and I was not disappointed. So I originally had copies of the novelizations of all the Star Wars movies. I had, like A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, right? I had those all in paperback. And I was content with them until I saw this beautiful leather-bound beauty. Look at this. Look at that. This is another Barnes & Noble leather-bound edition. It's the original trilogy, so it has all 3 of the books. Look at that. They have, I found out that they actually came out with different editions of this. So there's one that has Darth Vader on the cover. There's one that has Princess Leia. But this was, of course, the only one that they had at half price. But I liked it because, I love the colors. I love R2. And I mean, when else am I going to get this copy at half price books? It was, it's just, hold on. So, yeah, it has the lightsaber. Anakin's lightsaber. It has Darth Vader. It has a stormtrooper. And then just look at that. That is gorgeous. The Millennium Falcon on the back. I just love this artwork. And the best thing about it, also, I showed it to my friend John. He was one of the friends that came with us on this little adventure on Sunday. I showed him this artwork, and of course he recognized it. I'm not completely familiar with all of, like, you know, all of the artists and people who worked on Star Wars. I'm not as big of a nerd as he is, but I knew that this was a part of the original concept art, and of course he actually knew the name of the artist. I don't want to say it now, and because I may get it wrong, but just look at that. It's so gorgeous. And of course it also has a nice little ribbon as well. But it just, oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And so yeah, I ended up getting this copy, and then the paperback copies that I had, I just decided, you know what, I'll just give those away to my friend. He actually did not have any copies of them, so I was like, here, you can have those if you want. So yeah, it was kind of a win-win. So oh, you know what? Also, yeah, the price. I was actually going to mention the price. This was originally, I think, $17.50, and with half off, I got it for like $9 something with tax. So, yes, that was a steal, a very big steal. So yeah, that was our first half price of the day. These are all at my local one, so this is the first stop technically. And then we all piled in the car, and we headed to our second location. And of course, I only planned on buying one book per location, and I'm so proud of myself because I did. I stuck to that goal of buying only one book at each location. I was proud of myself. Yeah, I was really proud of myself. At the second location that we went to, I actually did not have a specific book that I was looking for at that location, because the other locations that we were going to that were farther away, those were the ones that had the books that I wanted. But we just stopped at this one because it was close to my friend Jessica. She was the second person that came with us. She's my other best friend. This one was close to her house, and she was like, oh yeah, let's go here real fast. And so I was like, of course, you know, I'm gonna stop at pretty much every half price I want anyway. And so at this half price in particular, I could have picked out pretty much any book that I wanted, I guess. And so I just kind of looked around. I originally was thinking, oh, I'm not really gonna, I don't know. There's nothing really here that I was planning on getting. But one thing I have been trying to find is my own copies of like different fairy tale collections, because I also love collecting books on fairy tales. I want to get my own like really nice copy of like the Grimm's fairy tales, but I just haven't found one that really like sticks out to me that I really want. But I did happen to find this. This is really nice. This is actually a collection of the fairy tales from Ireland, and I love Ireland and Scotland, and these are really, really nice. And this is a really nice copy too, a really nice edition. I just loved the color, and it's a really pretty copy. And I think there's also like different pictures and stuff in here. Hold on, let me see if I can find. Yeah, they have like really weird looking. Oh, well, there's this one. Yeah. I think that one's about, yeah, there's a story about a black cat. Ooh. Ireland looks like it has a lot of stories about witches and cats and devils in particular. Oh, this is a really nice illustration. Look at that. That actually makes me think of something that I've seen from Charles Dickens, I think. It makes me think of that, but I know that that's not what it's from. But yeah, got the Fairy Tales of Ireland, and it was listed as $10, but I got it for $5. So yeah, that's nice. Sorry. So the next location we went to ended up actually being by my friend John's house. It's funny, we actually went to like the 3 different half prices that are by all 3 of our houses first, which I think is really funny. Sorry, my nose is like really itchy. The next, and this was when I actually started finding the books that I was actually searching for. Like, this is on my actual list of books that I was looking for. So I'm actually a really big Gravity Falls fan. If none of you have seen Gravity Falls, I would suggest you watch it. It is an amazing cartoon show that was on the Disney Channel from, like, I think 2012 to 2016. It only ran for 2 seasons, but it gained, like, the hugest fan following that I have ever seen for any show. And it just exploded. Like, so many people love it. I love it. It's one of those, it's like the X-Files for kids. I've never watched the X-Files, but from what I've heard from other fans who have seen the X-Files, apparently it's very much like X-Files meets Disney. It's, yeah, that's basically what it is. And I absolutely love it. And it also kind of gives you, when I first started watching it, it kind of gave me like almost a Spiderwick Chronicles vibe. But like as I continued watching it, it was kind of more like, it was fantasy, but it also dipped a lot more into sci-fi as well. And so I guess the reason why it kind of made me think of the Spiderwick Chronicles is because it is about twins, but it's like a boy and girl twins. And like the boy finds like this mysterious book, and it's kind of like a field guide type of thing, and it's like a journal, and it's like the third journal it's like one of 3, and it's the third journal, and it has like a list of all these like monsters and stuff like that. So anyway, there was a lot of books and other like merch that came out based on Gravity Falls. I think last year they came out with like a graphic novel that had like 4 stories in it. It was actually written by the guy who created the show, Alex Hirsch, which he was amazing. I have that book already, but there was one book in particular that I wanted to get. I actually checked it out at my local library and I read it, and I liked it well enough that I was like, you know what, I kind of want to actually get it and have it in my personal library. So this is it. It's called Dipper and Mabel and the Curse of the Time Pirate's Treasure. It's a, I don't know, usually these kinds of books were actually popular back in kind of more like the 80s, I guess. It's called a choose your own adventure book, or select your own choose venture, I guess. I don't know, that's what they call it. But it's one of those choose your own adventure kind of things. It's like, you know, you start from chapter 1 and you read it, and then something happens, and then it gives you like 2 different options. Like the story starts with Mabel and Dipper meeting an old friend from he's actually featured in the show, and they meet an old friend, and he gives them an offer. Oh, hey, let's come find this awesome like treasure with me. And so you have like 2 different options. You can either, you know, you can decline his offer and be like, nah, I don't want to go treasure hunting, or you can actually go on the adventure with him. And it's kind of like that throughout the book, and you make decisions and you go to different pages, and there's 3 different places that you can go. There's the West, the future, and medieval times. So you can go to like the Old West, like a sci-fi thing, or like a kind of a medieval location. So it kind of covers 3 different kind of popular genres, and it's really cool. I like it. I just love, and also love kind of like the back cover too. It has like treasure on it, and it was a really cool book. I liked it. It was very, very interesting. And actually, another cool thing, I may actually insert a photo here in a little bit, but what I thought was interesting was at this same location where I got this, I like was going up to the bookshelf, and I was like, okay, and so I started kind of doing almost like the thing that Monk does. Like, if you've ever seen the show Monk, he kind of like does this to try to like find clues at a crime scene. So I was kind of almost doing that, just like looking around. I was like, okay, I know the book is here, but where is it? We were at the children's TV and media tie-in section. So I was like looking around, but first I didn't just see this. I actually saw that they had a copy of the journal number 3. And I actually already have a copy of that. My dad got it for me because he loves the show just as much as I do. And, oh, sorry, my neck. But But I thought it was interesting to see another copy of Journal 3, though, and I just kind of, like, grabbed it off of the shelf, and I was like, this is so cool, and my friend John was, like, right behind me, and I had just introduced him to the show, and I was like, hey, man, look, like, you know, and I had let him look at my Journal 3, but I was kind of already thinking, oh, man, since he loves the show as much as I do, he's gonna eventually get his own copy of Journal 3, and I thought that was so cool. I found it, and so I handed it off to him, and he started looking through it, and he was just like, yes, yes, and he saw that it was listed as $10, and since he had his 50% off coupon, he was like, oh yeah, I'm getting this for $5, yeah, so I'll probably actually insert a photo of his haul, event somewhere around here. He got, if I can remember correctly, he got a copy of, you know, Journal 3. It was actually in really good condition, too. Like, really good condition. He got, like, another Star Wars book and some other book. I can't remember. And then he mostly got CDs. He was mostly looking for different like lots of different CDs and music and stuff. So he got more CDs than he got books. I think he got 3 books and, like, 14 CDs or something. That was, like, the one thing. We were kind of, like, constrained on time. We were just like, come on, man, stop looking through all the music. They ended up getting, like, so many CDs, but it was really cool. It was a really cool find for him, though, like, getting Journal 3, and then, of course, I look up on the top shelf, and I finally found this. So yeah, that was my first actual, that was the actual book that I was intentionally looking for. So that was my first intentional buy of the day. And so yeah, and then next we went to 2 other locations after that, I believe. Yeah. And I bought 2 more Star Wars books in a row. And so I do love playing video games and stuff, and I've played technically only one Star Wars game, but I actually grew up with a game called Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, and that was one of my favorite games to play as a kid. Like, I played the crap out of that game. It was so good. And I don't know, I've thought about maybe, like, trying to get into playing some of the other ones. I don't know. Mostly I just kind of like watching the walkthroughs on YouTube now, so that way I don't have to go through the trouble of, like, trying to, you know, play it. Just, like, I'll let somebody else have the trouble of playing it for me. But recently I decided to start watching the walkthrough to The Force Unleashed. And I remember when that game came out, too. It came out in, like, 2010, something like that. And I remember, like, kind of being excited for it, and, like, me and my brother kind of wanted to play it, but we just never got around to getting it, I guess. I don't know. And I found out that, like, The Force Unleashed was kind of a big deal. Like, not only was it, like, a breakthrough in some video game technology, but it was, like, apparently the story was very good. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to go to one of my favorite walkthroughers on YouTube, and I had walkthrougher? Is that even a word? Anyway, I can't talk today. But I went to this channel on YouTube, and I love watching him. Like, I've seen him do, like, a few other, like, walkthroughs of Star Wars games. I've seen him walk through, like, the Jedi Knight series, like Jedi Academy, Jedi Outcast, you know, like the Dark Forces. He did all of those books. Not books. He did all of those games. I told you I can't talk. And so I found out that he also had done 2 walkthroughs. He did the walkthrough for Force Awakens and then Force Awakens 2. And so I watched his walkthrough and everything, and I kind of, you know, I started following along with the story, and I really enjoyed the story of The Force Awakens. I mean, The Force Unleashed. I'm sorry. Again. Yeah. But The Force Unleashed. So yeah, apparently the story was really good. And when I watched it, like, I mostly paid attention during the cutscenes, especially, and tried to kind of put it together. And I was like, this is so cool. They actually, like, wrote a book around the story. Like, that sounds like so much fun. And, like, I'd really wish that they could have done something like that with, like, the Jedi Knight series, or at least, like, with the video game Jedi Academy, because that's my favorite Star Wars game. But of course they didn't. But I then got interested in possibly getting and reading the Force Unleashed books. So I was able to find out that they were in these half prices pretty close to me, and I wanted to get them in hardcover, and I did. So yeah, I got this one first because they actually had at the location that we went to where I got this one, they had this one and the first one, but this one was in slightly better condition. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to buy this one. And then the next location, hopefully it'll have a good copy of the first. And it did. It did. Look at that. It's really nice. Really nice. Let me show you this one first. So yeah, boom. 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 Yeah. And so yeah, like the dust jacket is very much intact. It's very pristine. Yes. Oh yeah, I got this for a really good steal too. Cause it was originally $8. I got it for $4. And yeah, and look how much it originally was when it first came out. It's like $26. So yeah, it's really good. Really, really good. So yeah, I can't wait to start reading these. I mean, I technically already know what happens from watching the game, but one thing I love about books is I love to see like how they describe things in books, and this is the second one. I guess I forgot to say how much the other books that I got were. Oh, they slipped that sucker in there. I didn't even notice. Nice. Could always use more bookmarks. But yeah, and I think this book was probably, yep. Oh, it was $27. Dang. So yeah, these were each $4. So I got 2 for the price of 1, technically. I also forgot to mention the Dipper and Mabel book was, I think, $6.50, and I got it for like $3.25. So that's how much that was. So yeah, and I got the Force Unleashed series. And finally we get to our last book of the day. Now, at this last half price that we stopped at, there was originally like one book that I was seeking out, and it was another Star Wars book, and it's called Ahsoka by, I think, E.K. Johnston. And I'd seen it before at half price several different times, and it looked interesting because Ahsoka is my favorite character in the Clone Wars series, period. I just love her so much, and she just, my goodness, she is just my girl, like, love her. And I wanted to get the book. I learned that they had a hardcover edition at the half price that we were going to, the last one, and unfortunately, I guess somebody got there before I did, and it was gone. And so I was so disappointed, and I was just like, well, I don't know. So I just kind of looked around aimlessly. I was like, okay, maybe there might be something else that I could get for a 50% off, but I wasn't sure. And so I just kind of like went back to like the fantasy section, and I started looking at like kind of like the Lord of the Rings books and stuff, and suddenly like my eye, something caught my eye, and it was this beautiful, beautiful leather bound, I think it's probably like fake leather bound, but it's still a really nice copy though. This is this copy of The Hobbit. Like, look at that. So this is actually a box, and it comes out of said box. It's beautiful. Yes. So yeah, look at that. Look at that cover. Look at that. And then it has this on the side. And then it has these beautiful, beautiful old drawings and paintings. Like, look at this. It has this beautiful old illustration from, I think, the original, if you can see that. And then it has those, and then it also has, let me go to the beginning. I remember there was one at the beginning. It also has these illustrations that are in, I actually have a paperback of the Hobbit, and it has like this and some other illustrations, and they have these same ones, but they're like colored in green. So yeah, It's such a beautiful copy. There was actually originally also, and this is real fast, this was actually published. This is an edition from 1966. And there was originally, in the opening, in the inside cover, there was originally like this sticker. I guess, yeah, it was a sticker. And I think it was like a sticker from around the same time too, because I had my mom look at it and she was telling me that, yeah, it looks like it was stuck there like right around late 60s, very early 70s. And so I was originally like, oh man, like if it weren't for this sticker, like it would be pretty good. But like I still bought it, obviously. But I figured, okay, maybe there's a way I could get the sticker off. I don't know. And then my mom was like, just gently hold it over the water kettle when it heats up for, whenever you make tea, and just steam it off. And I was like, oh, that's right, duh. It's like when you open an envelope. And so she actually did that. She held it over the steam and we were able to peel it off. And it came off perfectly. Like, you can hardly tell it used to be there. There's just like a little bit of something like left, but like it's hardly noticeable. So yeah. So now it's pretty much good as new, and yeah, awesome. You're probably wondering how much this was. Excuse me. It was actually the same price as the Star Wars trilogy book that I got. It was, I think, $17.50. It was listed as that much, but of course, with my half price off, I got it for like $9 and something cents. So yeah. Another thing that I wanted to do that was a really fun project for me was I actually was able to translate these runes on the side. And of course, runes are used all throughout the Lord of the Rings. Mostly, like, I think dwarves and elves use them throughout the series. And you can actually translate them. I actually have a book that is about J.R.R. Tolkien. I think it was like one of the For Dummies books. But I thought it would be fun to have it. And it turns out it was a good thing that I have it, because it had like the list of runes and what their equivalent is in the alphabet. And I was able to actually translate this. The spine is actually very easy to translate, because it literally says The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. That's literally what it says. It says the exact thing that this says. Like, that is literally the translation is above it. But then, of course, I wanted to actually translate this, because all of these. So I actually just sat down. It took me about 30 minutes. It's not that hard to translate runes, especially if you translate some small part of it, and then it's kind of easy, because then you start noticing, the letter or some of the runes that appear very, frequently. It's the same thing with breaking a code. You find especially you find the vowels, I think, or the letters that repeat more often than others. That's usually the best way to break a code. And so I was able to translate this, and all around it said, I'm going to hold this up as I read it. So basically, going around the spine, starting at the top and going this way, it says, being the record of a year's journey of Bilbo Baggins, compiled from his memoirs, The Hobbit, or There and Back Again. And that's literally what it says on the cover. So yeah, it was a really fun little project to translate that too. I wouldn't say I'm an expert at translating runes, but give me a call if you need my help. No, just kidding. No, you might want to actually just do it yourself, or ask somebody else who knows more than I do. But it's not that hard. It's kind of fun to do that. You feel like you're actually doing something. Well, anyway, that was all my books. I'm gonna hold them up. Since they're all hardcover, they're very heavy. So yeah, here we go. Yeah. These are all my books. So the bottom one, obviously, I got on Saturday. And then from this one onward, it's all Sunday. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we went to 6 different half prices. It was very fun. My friend John got, as I said, so he got 14 CDs and 3 books. So he got like 17 things. Wow. I just got 1 thing per store. And then my friend Jessica, I don't think she got anything. She has more restraint than me and John do. Apparently, yeah, she does. That just goes to show she's the responsible friend out of this group. She actually did go trying to find one particular book, but unfortunately they did not have it. So yeah, that's sad. I seriously thought, like, with all the half prices that we were going to, I was like, we're going to 6 different half prices. They have to have this book. And they didn't. And now I'm sad. Although she did get something out of it, though. She was searching, while she was searching for this particular book, I think she was, like, she didn't find it, and then she just kind of was, like, looking around, and she went to, I think, like, the cooking section, and she opened up a cookbook, and then 2 pieces of notebook paper fell out, and so she just picked them up, and it turns out they were both recipes. One of them was a recipe for, I think, cornbread or corn pudding or something like that, and the other one was a recipe for cherry cobbler, and she was like, yeah, we're gonna try this. So, I mean, it was, it wasn't a complete loss. I mean, someday, gonna have a nice cherry cobbler, and from what she could tell me by looking at the recipe, it looked pretty easy to make. So I will keep you updated on if we actually do make that, because that sounds really, really good, especially with some ice cream. Vanilla ice cream. It's a very southern sounding thing, and it is. So, I don't know how I did on this little video. It was actually kind of fun to make. I thought I would be nervous and everything, and I think I did stumble in a few areas, but I like how I was able to, I kind of got a little bit more natural with this, as I started talking about what I love, which is books. I got more relaxed, and it was just like I was talking to, to somebody, and became very easy for me. So I think I may do some more of these. I really like this. And I have done so many book hauls in the past. And I have like I may actually give like a tour of my bookshelf sometime. This isn't all of it. There's like a whole other like upper level to this. And then there's like another shelf like over this way. And I even have my own special shelf that is of just books that I have not read, but plan to read. It's like my shelf of books that, if I read one and end up not liking it, I can just put it aside and like sell it to half price or something. So it's like a stack of books that I don't know anything about really, but I bought them because the stories looked interesting, but I haven't read them yet. So, I may do a video on the books on that shelf sometime. But yeah, for now, that was just my little half-price book haul. And yeah. I'll see you guys next time.